Hello, everyone. Uh, good morning. So, I'm Jansi Rathod. Today, my topic is Puritanism in Practice, Philosophy, Society, and the Human Voice. So, here's my academic information. Here are the table of contents. And here's my research question related to my topic. So, how did the Puritan emphasis on the human voice in preaching and communication shape their philosophy of society and individual religious practice? And here's the hypothesis. The Puritan focus on the human voice as a spiritual and social tool fundamentally influenced their philosophy by intertwining religious conviction with societal governance, promoting a disciplined community where personal piety and public morality were enforced through spoken and written expression. So here's the introduction. Puritanism began in England during the late 16th century as a reform movement within the Church of England. Puritans emphasized the supreme authority of the Bible, the need for the personal religious experience, and God's conventional relationship with believers. The movement's influence extended not only religiously but politically and culturally, deeply impacting English and early American societies. So here's the historical context and social impact. So the rise of Puritanism closely corresponded with England's political and religious turmoil. The resistance contributed to the English Civil War in the mid 17th century, after which Puritan-led forces temporarily overthrew the monarchy. Many Puritans then migrated to New England, where they established colonies and dedicated to living according to their religious ideals. So here's the Puritan theology and the covenant. At the heart of Puritan belief was a Calvinist theology, especially the doctrine of predestination and covenant theology. Puritans really believed salvation was unmerited and predetermined by God, who had elected certain individuals to receive grace. And the covenant of works was broken by original sin, making the covenant of grace through Christ's sacrifice the only means of redemption. The covenant concept also extended to social and political life, enforces collective and moral discipline. So, Puritan society, discipline, and daily life. Puritan society intertwined private spirituality with public moral enforcement, which visible piety, sobriety, and educational attainment were social norms with spiritual significance. And we can also see the emphasis on moral discipline, which sought not only individual salvation but also the creation of the city upon a hill, a community exemplifying godly order. The human voice communication as a spiritual practice. So the central to Puritan practice was the power of the human voice, and the Puritans' pulpits were not merely places of worship but arenas for shaping concise and public morality. And the spoken word thus functioned both as a link to divine truth and a tool for societal transformation, embodying the Puritan ideal that faith is lived actively through speech and action. So Puritan literature and the voice in writing. So the Puritan literature was intensely focused on expressing the inner spiritual experience, and writers like Anne Edward Taylor and John Milton used poetry and prose to share personal reflections. And a key feature was the use of simple and direct language. And another defining point was the frequent use of biblical references and stories. And the Bible remained their single greatest influence and the standard for all forms of communication. The Puritan poetry introduced personal meditation and confession. And Bradstreet poems, for example, move between family life and spiritual questioning, while John Milton's Paradise Lost dramatizes the great biblical story of the fall and human redemption. So, Puritanism's enduring legacy. Though Puritan political power waned after the Restoration, and their cultural and ideological legacy persisted. The Puritans' contribution to education led to the establishment of schools and colleges promoting literacy for Bible studies, and the concept of a accountable community continues to echo in modern social and political thought. So here's the conclusion. So Puritanism was not merely a set of religious belief, but a comprehensive cultural practice where the theology shaped the society through disciplined life and communication. And understanding Puritanism enriches a comprehension of early modern English thought and its enduring influence on Western values of morality, community, and expression. So here's my learning outcome. So basically, I learned how the Puritan emphasis on the human voice, not simply a matter of religious ritual, but a powerful means of shaping both individual faith and societal order. And this understanding highlights the significance of voice as an instrument for enforcing discipline, fostering communal identity, and promoting a cultural where religious belief and public life were deeply integrated. So here are the resources. Thank you. Any question?
So, Jansi, my question is, how did Puritan philosophy shapes daily life and society?
Okay, Chetna. So, Puritan philosophy focuses on discipline, hard work, and faith in God, and it also influenced daily life by making people live simple and avoid pleasure and follow strict rules.
Okay. So, Sensi, my question is, what role did the human voice play in expressing Puritan beliefs?
So, Jaipal, thank you for the question. So, for Puritans, the human voice was a tool to connect to God, and people used to pray and confess, and they also do several speeches, and which shows honesty and devotion to guide spiritual life. Thank you. This is from my side.